So this is breaking news report per Bleacher Report. This is by Joseph Zucker. Okay. So he said that the Athletic's Bill Oram reported that Pelinka has 2 years remaining on his contract with the team. 2 years from now. Now let's do the math before I continue. Let's do the math, okay? The Lakers are planning on signing what? A 2-year extension with the Lakers, right? There's been a report that LeBron James could sign a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, a 2-year extension. So in 2 years, right, Rob Pelinka is going to be gone. So let's say they finish out this year, he'll have 1 more year left. So LeBron James, I don't think can, sign the extension until August, right? So if he signs the deal in August, that's going to be 1 year left on his deal, right? What I think LeBron James is going to do, he's probably going to wait and see what the Lakers do. All this stuff is lining up perfectly, right, for LeBron James to potentially get one of his guys in there. Because remember, it was reported that one of the former players' sons, who is the head of basketball operations for Clutch Sports, it's rumored that he's looking to try to ease himself in. Remember, I just said in one of my videos, well, you guys probably ain't gonna see the video until, it's coming up next. But as I mentioned, what LeBron James trying to do, he's trying to purposely, I think, trying to run the organization into the ground. And then by running the organization into the ground, he could then ease in the players that he wants. Now, also, what I want to get to is quite interesting. So it says that Oram questioned whether Lakers governor, Jeanie, who would take the step of firing Rob Pelinka, who she views as an extension of Kobe Bryant. Let me say that one more time. Let me repeat. Who she views as an extension of Kobe Bryant. Now, what have I been telling you guys for the longest? I told you guys that what? Who was Kobe Bryant? He was the hidden hand. He was the godfather. He still was pulling the strings behind the scenes. Who did Kobe Bryant say was his best friend, like a brother? Rob Pelinka. We've seen him take plenty of photos. He's at family gatherings. They're really tight, right? So that way LeBron James could pull a LeBron James. That way Kobe Bryant could pull a LeBron James, make moves, hide his hands, right? So as I said, she views him as an extension of Kobe, which is why ultimately she's probably not going to let him go. But some way, somehow, if you could bring in Russell Westbrook, if Rob Pelinka listens to me, see, if Kobe is moved out of the way, if Kobe is somehow moved out of the way, right, then maybe we could get Rob Pelinka to make it look like, because he's not relying on Kobe no more, because Kobe's not here. So by Kobe not being here, then he's no longer an extension of Kobe Bryant, is he? Rob Pelinka I'm speaking of. Do you get my drift? So it's all chess at this point. So what we've been hearing, LeBron James is trying to own the Lakers. So to me, I think that what's happening is it's all lining up perfectly. If LeBron James signs that 2-year extension, he's more than likely going to stay with the Lakers and try to position himself to own the Lakers. So it's going to look more and more like the franchises, there's just confusion going on. That it's just so dysfunctional. The franchise is so dysfunctional that you have to sell it. And the fans are probably going to demand, especially the media, the LeBron James fans, as long as the media can control the narrative, they can push the Buss family out or do what they can to try to push them out. So Do I think that the Lakers are going to get rid of Rob Pelinka unless Jeanie Buss puts her foot down? And unless, I'm starting to believe that LeBron James has more power than you think. Because it was already reported that he has more power within the franchise than Kobe Bryant has ever had, probably Magic Johnson. But it's starting to look like, I wouldn't be surprised if Rob Pelinka mysteriously come up missing. I wouldn't be surprised. Mysteriously come up missing. Like, I'm talking about something end up happening to him. I mean, conspiracy theory, right? But it's all lining up perfectly. But if LeBron James is about to end the end of his contract is about to come up, he's probably not going to sign it until he gets closer to where Rob Pelinka got 1 year. So by the time Rob Pelinka has that 1 year, LeBron will just be starting his 2-year extension. And then by the time he goes into his 2 years, Rob Pelinka, he'll still have another year left. You move Rob Pelinka out of the way and, you know, they could convince Jeanie Buss. Like, it's starting to be like LeBron James has positioned himself to fully take over the Lakers. That's in my estimation. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know about y'all guys, you know, but I'm good at really reading in between the lines and connecting dots. I'm like the private investigator. Like I told you guys, Magic Johnson was just the face of the Lakers. I said that. I was one of the first ones who went on record and said that. Everybody, you don't know, you're not inside the organization. You don't have any inside sources. You don't know anything. Bruh, it's clear as day. I mean, you guys just pay attention to what the media feeds you guys. You eat it up. But, I mean, a lot of stuff is right there in front of you. You just got to be able to connect the dots. And I seen it a mile away, but LeVar Ball went on undisputed and confirmed it. Like, Magic Johnson was just the face. He was just a mascot. And everybody is positioning themselves and try to angle to get power of the organization. You had Kobe Bryant using Rob Pelinka. You had Magic Johnson. Jeanie Buss could trust Magic Johnson. She could trust Kobe. And she know that Rob Pelinka is close to Kobe. But somehow you got Clutch Sports as well they already reported that as well, that you don't know who's running the show. You don't know who's controlling the show. You don't know. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody's trying to be Chef Ramsay, okay? So what's happening is everybody is trying to position themselves for power. So LeBron James knows that Kobe Bryant has a major influence. So somehow Kobe Bryant got out the way. I mean, I'm not, making no allegations like that, but man, to me, it would make sense. And I think if LeBron James can't get back to Cleveland, which I think he also wants to do, I think he wants to get back to Cleveland. But if he signs that extension, it's going to confirm to me that LeBron James is positioning to take over the Los Angeles Lakers. And if he could get his people in there, Bronny James is coming to the Lakers. No doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's going to come to the Lakers. And you're going to have a Hollywood picture on the basketball court. But it's just kind of like pathetic. I just wanting people to see how selfish, how narcissistic and self-centered LeBron James is and the Bron-sexuals. Like, just no accountability at all. Like, they just want to shift blame to others. The mere fact that they want to put all the onus on Rob Pelinka, they want to put all the blame on Rob Pelinka. They'll even go to the length to say that Rob Pelinka is at fault because he's not the one who didn't stop the Russell Westbrook trade from happening. Like, just actually listen to what they're saying, these Bron-sexuals are saying. Rob Pelinka, it's your fault. You should have stopped me from going down the wrong path. It's your fault. It's your fault that I messed up. I'm trying to lose weight. It's your fault. It's your fault. You see me out here trying to eat these salads. It's your fault I picked up that Big Mac. It's your fault I ate 9 slices of Domino's pizza. It's your fault that I went to McDonald's and got those 3 cookies and that McFlurry. It's your fault that I sat in that long Popeyes drive-thru. You should have stopped me from picking up that meal. You seen me trying to get on this diet. It's your fault. You know I got Pop-Tarts up there in them cabinets. You know I got Pop-Tarts in that cabinet. You know I got all the junk in the world in them cabinets. You know I got the double stuffed Oreos. Not just the regular Oreos. I got the double stuffed Oreos. Okay? Why didn't you stop me? You should have stopped me. You give me everything I want. You give me everything that I want, everything that I ask for. You spoil me. You treat me so well. You need to stop doing it. Stop giving me what I want. So maybe the Lakers shouldn't listen to LeBron James. Maybe they should just trade him. Trade him. Trade him. Because if you're not going to give him what he wants, you're going to get blamed anyway, so you might as well just trade him. It's like females, bro. If women refuse to be held accountable, they will literally they'll rather die than to be held accountable. Like, can you just fathom that? It's your fault. It's your fault for not stopping me. Like, if he wants Russell Westbrook, that's who he wants. If he has a long list of the ideal players that he may find would be a great fit for him, you're basically saying he should be like, no, LeBron James, you shouldn't do it, right? Then when LeBron James leaves and he departs and, let's say, go back to Cleveland, and let's say the Lakers are trash again next season, right? Then they'll say, oh, well, you should have just listened to LeBron James. But you just told him not to listen to LeBron James. Like, which one is it? It's crazy, bro. But you want me to be held accountable for, and it takes a great leader like Rob Pelinka to be like, you know what? I take all the blame. You know, I take all the blame. It was my fault. Maybe you're right. Maybe I should have not listened to LeBron James. But with that being said, should they not listen to Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson? And maybe they shouldn't have listened to. Maybe they should have just not went and got LeBron James at all. Maybe they shouldn't have got Anthony Davis. But LeBron James has the highest basketball IQ. He has the highest IQ in basketball. So you're telling me one of the smartest, greatest players, the Malcolm X of basketball, right? The Albert Einstein of basketball. One of the smartest people of all time when it comes to basketball, the nerd of basketball. You're telling me that he didn't know that him and Russell Westbrook wouldn't be a great fit? You can't tell me he didn't. But it's just, I find it hilarious. It's like quite funny that y'all would literally, that they're literally saying that he should have stopped the Russell Westbrook trade. And I'm listening to Shannon Sharp on Undisputed, and this man literally up there talking about some, did you hear that, Skip? Did you hear that, Skip? Skip. He said that the blame is on him. And you're okay with him literally saying, what else is he supposed to say? What he supposed to come up there and be like, oh yeah, it was LeBron James. So, first of all, it's unprofessional for one, to go out there and he just going to be like, oh, it ain't my fault. What he supposed to go up there and say, oh yeah, it was LeBron James. LeBron wanted Westbrook, so he got to keep him. No, he's not going to come out there and tell the truth. What do you think this is? You hear that, Skip? Skip. You hear that, Skip? He just told on himself, Skip. That's what he just did, Skip. He was in an interrogation room, Skip. And he just told on himself, Skip. Allergies. He was just in an interrogation room, Skip. And he just told on himself, Skip. He just revealed the truth, Skip. You see, it wasn't LeBron James' fault all along, Skip. He wanted Russell Westbrook, but he really wanted Buddy Hield, Skip. That's what didn't get reported. Yes, yep. He really wanted Buddy Hield. It was Rob Pelinka. It was Rob Pelinka that really wanted Russell Westbrook. That's the truth, yep. Man, I skipped right on past it. No pun intended. That jibber jabber.